The key to profitable milk production is happy, healthy cows. Today's dairy farmer faces many challenges. Challenges such as the environment, climate change, and regulation. The top 3 animal health challenges for dairy producers across the world are infertility, udder health, and lameness.
Lameness has a significant impact on modern dairy operations. Alongside mastitis and infertility, lameness is one of the top 3 impacts on the financial viability of dairy operations. In individual herds, it can mean a reduction in milk production by up to 50%. A prompt treatment of any lameness problem is absolutely essential. On top of this, obviously, we have the significant welfare impact that a lame cow poses to a dairy farmer. And so it's important that we address a lameness problem promptly and as efficiently as possible.
So how do you go about tackling the problem of lameness? This is achieved by treating existing cases and preventing new cases. That's why it's important to have a lameness control plan in place. But before we look at these, the first step is to quantify how much lameness is currently affecting your herd. And one of the key ways of doing this is by mobility scoring.
When I'm mobility scoring, I'm looking at how well a cow will walk and trying to identify any lame cows on any specific limb or limbs. Continuity is definitely the key. The same person doing it all the time will show good results.
Another way to monitor lameness in your herd is to look at foot trimming records. A competent foot trimmer will be able to diagnose the cause of lameness, and by reviewing these records, it's easy to work out the main causes within your herd. There are 2 main causes of lameness in dairy cows: trauma to the hoof and infection.
The main traumatic causes of lameness are solar ulcer, which is a bruising to the sole of the foot, and white line disease, where you get a separation of the white line, often associated with the penetration of a stone or a foreign body. The main infectious causes of lameness are digital dermatitis and interdigital necrobacillosis, or commonly known as foul of the foot. If you're looking at traumatic causes of damage to the foot, you're looking at control measures including regular foot trimming and prompt attention to lame cows. And certainly controlling the level of lameness in the environment, looking at cow lying times and cow comfort scores, is an important part of the process. For infectious foot conditions, we're looking at controlling foot infections by foot bathing and prompt attention to hygiene, ensuring that manure is regularly scraped from passageways around the farm. Obviously, treatment then revolves around picking up the cow's foot, identifying the cause of lameness, and then trimming the foot accordingly to ensure that you can exact a cure. In fact, regular foot trimming on many farms, undertaken by a trained foot trimmer, is a vital part of the foot health care.
A competent foot trimmer will carefully examine the cow's foot before then checking it using the 5-point Dutch method.
Right, the first step in foot trimming is to get the correct length of the hoof, and we do that by measuring 75 millimeters from the coronary band back to the toe. So we measure that there, and that is the correct length for us. We want this foot to be nice and level, and we take down more in the toe area and nothing in the heel. We want to preserve the heel height. To move on to step 2, we now do this claw to match the inner. So we'll match it for length. They're both about the same length, so we're not going to trim anything off the front. And then we get it level as well. Always remembering to preserve the heel height. We'd like the cow to be toeing up when she's finished trimming. Moving on to step 3, we're modeling out the insoles. The reason for opening up this insole is to allow fiber and dung and stones to pass through and not get trapped in the sole. Step 4, we would reduce the heel height if we had a problem here, and that is to transfer the weight from a diseased claw across onto a healthy claw, and so relieve any pressure where you have bruising or a solar ulcer. Step 5, we're cleaning up all of the slurry heel and any of these sharp ridges to neaten up the foot. Step 1 is your inner claw, step 2 is your outer claw, step 3 is your modelling out. Step 4 would be to lower the heel if needed, and step 5 is to neaten up any hard ridges or slurry heel. And that's the 5-step method.
In some cases, it's necessary to apply a block to the cow's claw.
She has a white line issue, which would lead to a wall ulcer. So we've blocked the healthy claw to relieve the pressure off of the diseased claw. The block is held there with a resin, which should keep it in place for about 3 to maybe 4 weeks. By taking that pressure off of there, it allows the sole tissue and the wall tissue to regrow.
Accurate data about the cow's feet is gathered by the foot trimmer, and this is reviewed on a quarterly basis by the farm vet. Another key element of a lameness control program is foot bathing, as regular foot bathing can treat lesions caused by infectious agents and help to prevent new infections from occurring. To get the most out of your foot bathing regime, there are a few things you need to consider.
Where you site your foot bath is firstly most important. You need to make sure it's in a place where all the cows can get through it on a regular and routine basis. And don't forget your dry cows and your heifers as well. It's important to choose carefully the product that you use in your main foot bath to ensure that you end up with a product that's going to be effective on your farm. You need to calculate the volume of the foot bath so that you get the concentration of the solution correct. Secondly, you need to consider the ambient temperature. Certain products will evaporate at higher temperatures, other products will be less effective at cold temperatures. The pH of the foot bath is also important. A number of products will become less effective as the pH in the foot bath rises, and this commonly happens as the foot bath becomes contaminated as more cows pass through the foot bath.
Ensuring that the foot bath solution remains at a sufficient depth is essential.
The depth in the foot bath needs to be at least 4 centimetres, allowing the treatment to contact the soft tissues in the foot. It's important to pop out the parlour halfway through milking to make sure that the level of the foot bath is still appropriate.
The simple introduction of a pre-treatment foot bath can have a dramatic effect on how well your cow's feet are treated.
Using a pre-treatment foot bath will keep your main foot bath clean because it's the natural instinct of the cow as she steps into water to defecate.
There are a number of options for foot bath solutions: formalin, copper sulfate or antibiotic solutions. Antibiotic solutions are very expensive. Choice depends on a number of factors: efficacy, cost, ease of use and environmental concerns with copper. There's also the human safety factor to consider if using formalin. One alternative is to use Healthy Hooves. Healthy Hooves allows the copper sulfate or zinc sulfate to be more soluble and as a result more effective in killing bacteria. This is because the Healthy Hooves solution maintains a pH of 2. Even with high manure contamination. Low pH kills infectious agents, so it can be used to treat and prevent infectious causes of lameness. Healthy Hooves does not affect animal or human skin tissue despite maintaining a pH of just 2. When using Healthy Hooves for the first time, it's recommended that daily foot bathing takes place for the first 3 weeks at both morning and afternoon milkings. Then continue to foot bath 3 days a week, both morning and afternoon. Typically, 500 cow passes through a 200-litre foot bath will use 25 kilos of copper sulfate. Using Healthy Hooves, you'll use just 4 kilos. The Healthy Hooves 12-week programme for a 200 to 250 cow herd uses just 5 bags of copper sulfate and 5 25-litre containers of Healthy Hooves solution when used with a 200-litre foot bath. In addition to the foot bath solutions, Healthy Hooves also offers the ultimate spot treatment system for individual cases of digital dermatitis.
We're treating the lesion, the digital dermatitis lesion. We're covering it with a paste, and the cow slipper will keep the paste on the lesion and keep it clean, and the lesion will be able to dry out. It'll scab over, it then becomes non-painful and it'll dry up and fall away.
West Point Vets conducted a trial on Healthy Hooves on a farm with a history of digital dermatitis problem. First of all, we examined every cow's foot in the herd, taking a picture and identifying the lesions. We also mobility scored the whole herd to identify the level of lame cows in the herd. The trial lasted for 12 weeks and we regularly mobility scored the herd, finishing off again by picking up every cow's foot and identifying the lesions. And throughout this period we found that almost all the lesions associated with digital dermatitis had resolved, the mobility score of the cows had improved, and overall the cows were happier and healthier on their feet and legs.
There are several advantages using healthy hooves. It's better for the environment as it greatly reduces the amount of zinc or copper you add to the foot bath. It's stable over a wide range of temperatures, resulting in an effective pH stable solution, and it's easy to mix and handle.
The short time we've been using Healthy Hooves, it's an easy product to work with, and we've got on with it no trouble at all. So far, results look promising.
Effective foot bathing is a key part of a lameness control plan to reduce infectious diseases. But if the lameness problem on your farm is caused by traumatic causes, you'll also need to carefully look at the cow's environment. The key things to look at are sharp bends, especially around the area of the milking parlour. Look at the surface on your cow tracks, cubicle design, and where areas may benefit from rubber matting. Slurry pooling could be causing infectious lameness. Try to prevent it.
Having happy, healthy cows not only is very important when you're a farmer to ensure that your cows are productive and profitable, but it also has a significant impact on the consumer's image of milk production. So it's vitally important that we keep our cows happy and healthy on their feet and make sure that lameness is reduced to the absolute minimum.
For more information on the 12-week Healthy Hooves programme, please contact pharmacy.co.uk, or you can contact Healthy Hooves direct at sales@healthyhooves.eu.